of the retail tech as well, right? So we're seeing technology being deployed everywhere. So that's why today we also invite some other panelists and speakers to share. So we'd like to start by asking some other panelists what kind of new technologies that you are deploying in your company, and how do you see the these new technology, how do they transform customers' experience as well as customers' engagement? So who would like to start?
IBM guys.
Yeah, I mean there's only one rose amongst the thorns. So
I think it's easier. Okay. It's not easy to. I come from the private jet industry, so as I share, it's very different from a lot of. It's a very niche industry, so it's very difficult to comment what kind of technology will help my industry to achieve what we do. Literally, most of the technology are which is centralized around the aircraft itself. We call them avionics technology. It is mostly taken in by the manufacturer, the aircraft manufacturer. The other aspect, we talk about running the business, right? There's upstream, downstream, whatever that you have chosen. And we just need to innovate, but we don't really involve ourselves with too much technology because of this very niche industry. So as we Lux Aviation play a very, very different role as an operator. Probably some of this, what we call the very typical day-to-day business of a business running, like your cybersecurity. We still have to look into that, which is the IT aspect of it. I guess that's the very normal one. We can't do O2O because our governmental clientele, we are not mass market. We are very high net worth market. So it's very, very difficult. So to share what kind of technology because of our target base, right? But I noticed there's a lot of we have changed probably just a little bit different than before from the industry, which is more conservative, is that we have engaged on social media. But we still cannot say that you can book your private jet through booking on WeChat or via Facebook or that kind of channel that though I wish, right? Which is like B2B, they say that air travel, they should make it like that and all that. A lot of people did come and share this with us, but it's not so easy because they have no aircraft. So there is a lot of very practical and down-to-earth aspect that when it comes to our business, it's really not easy to complement or to change the industry totally. Yeah. Even you have money to burn, right? It's not so easy. And most of the companies are state-owned. Ours is private. Yeah, so it's a bit different. Yeah. So most of the airlines are state-owned. That's what I meant. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a bit different. So not so easy to change as in that. Yeah. And hopefully one day maybe private jet should be a mass market product. Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, it will be. I guess like it's popping up very. At a higher pace because I'm not sure about this ASEAN, but yes, from APAC, if I say Australia and New Zealand, it's on very higher side of it, and I have realized a lot of sales guys approaching me as well. I know, I said, I don't have even money to buy a car, but you're approaching me to buy a charter plane and this all. But the best part, what they are offering is like the shared kind of services. These days, so it's something I'm like, okay, the charter plane is having a 4-seater capacity or 6-seater capacity or whatever. So if they are selling per seats. So what you can do is like, okay, and at the last moment you can look at the rates coming down, and then afterwards you can book your visit. So possibly you can reach in half an hour time rather than spending at the same cost what you are going to do take about the flight. So that's the kind of like revenue generation engine is coming up on a higher side of it.
I think the shared economy is as well. We look at Uber. And then in China, there are so many bikes. You can just, you guys see those photos?
Yeah.
Like mountains of bikes in China. And also outside all the MRT stations, like hundreds of bikes. I don't think Singapore can do that. We don't
We have
enough
those
space.
shared bikes here.
Yeah. But not next to the MRT, right?
Oh, yes, it is.
Yes. Okay, certain stations.
And they are
Oh,
Chinese
no.
companies, so yeah.
We've got to bring Jason around.
So another thing is now they have the shared car concept. Basically, it's just like getting a bike. You can rent a car for a few hours or a day. And those are all like very environmental, electric cars. So I don't know if this is gonna happen in the airplane industry as well.
Private jet specifically, because aircraft type has got a lot of differences versus like even aircraft can be helicopter, right? So that's a bit different. So there are restriction laws that that we have to look into. Like I say, my kind of work is always macroeconomics in a way. I would say that the different era of target base that we are also very different, because only a certain age group are able to normally look into this area of using my service or my company's service for that matter. Then so do we conform to the younger trend, or do we conform to that? And technology is always about younger trend. So that there is this pull and push factor that is pulling us apart. So of course they will take the safer route. Most of the industry players in our aviation side, they will conform to what has been proven, what is agreed, what the government says, and that kind of stuff. So it's a bit hard to innovate unless we have a very, like I say, some super rich who goes out of the norm and started something like Airbnb, that kind of concept, right? To make it mass market. Now, a lot of people talk about timeshare using technology. Now, it will be the perfect tool, right? For any of you here who wants this part of the business. I believe that. And I believe you think that it will make money. It is, but where's the aircraft? Yeah, because it takes about 18 months to do the brand new one. And then if you buy from secondhand, you still have to upkeep, maintain, right? And it takes months to 3 to 6 months downtime and all that. So it's not so easy. So a lot of people keep saying that they're able to, okay, you can create an app. I'm sure you can within 6 months, 1 month even for you, right? Yeah, probably 1 month. But it's not just that, it's the real operation behind. So technology is not about what you show to the client. What is your delivery and performance behind, and I want it to be real. I mean, aviation people are very down to earth. So when we study certain things, as we see, we may not embrace technology that fast compared to other people. But anything that comprises of safety, yes, definitely. Technology is within our control. Very straightforward. We will do it fast. We spend the millions into it. Anything about safety, because that's about life. Yeah. So anything about experience, how do we judge experience? We can measure. I think I saw something, like the technology which you can measure. We measure not by this, we measure by reports, by words. So all our crew will share with us, our pilots will write a report every single flight. So our measurement again is very, very, very different. Yeah, so like I said, I probably is just sharing a bit on how my industry do that. Yeah, so yeah, because a lot of people don't talk about it. Yeah, from my industry, so probably it's a bit different. FMCG industry could be different as well and all that. Yeah. So I'm not sure if technology will help my site, except for the. I've been looking for breakthrough. If anyone has, yeah. I've been talking about it since I think this is my third CRE attendance. Yeah, I wish I can, but it's not easy.
Definitely entertainment side.
Entertainment. Yeah. Well, most of the client they are sleeping when they are on board because they are world leaders or they're politicians, so they get so tired, and probably that's their only comfort area. And then of course I want them to sleep so that they don't start a war somewhere, right? Yeah.
Most probably because of I think the airline companies, they're afraid of bringing in new changes that fast. Because if something goes wrong, you're actually playing around with people's lives.
We're talking about the regulatory framework here. Yeah, you're correct because it's like who is governing it in general, right? Okay, now aircraft manufacturers will be governed to make it air safety compliant, like EASA or FAA, right? So we all know that. And then of course there are also what we call the sky restrictions, where you can do this, you cannot do that, and as well. Then of course then individual corporate restrictions, which your company says I will do this, I will do that. And competition, right? Anti-competition and all that. So there are a lot of factors when you do business. I think there's a lot of segment that we have to look into, and ultimately, what can you really do, right? And who do you want to please? We can't please all, but we have to at least comply with the law. Then that's why there are certain things that, like, I would say certain industry. Just now I brought my lawyer seriously because my lawyer is here to witness, not to have a look and understand what kind of framework, because I believe in law there's a lot of ways that we need to protect ourselves before we attack with technology, because technology like hacking and all that. So there's a lot of things that we will go forward and then we take a back seat, forward and back seat. But the question here is you're talking about technology, right? So technology is not an easy thing. Yeah, and everyone claims they can do it, and that's what I don't want to believe in.
Yeah, I think just to add to what you were describing, right? You have a core offering, which is essentially, you can describe it in many words, but it's about taking a person in the fastest possible way, in the most convenient manner, from point A to point B. So the core offering may or may not be influenced by technology, but surrounding the core offering, whether it is your maintenance, downtime of aircraft, or even the offerings, things like, the dishes that you serve, the entertainment that you serve on board and stuff like that, technology can play a big role in making sure that, you actually personalize the experience. And Gartner says, I think in 2018, companies that personalize their experience to customers will outsell those companies which do not personalize by 20%. So which means if you are a company that personalizes customer experience, you are going to win 20% more deals than a company that doesn't. So we are talking of dollars and cents here, right? It's not just it's not a national service we are talking about. We are talking about dollars and cents. And that's again driven by, if you look at what's happening with customer expectations. In many ways, technology is both the cause and the effect. Right? I mean, right now we are talking about what can technology do as a cause, right? But you look at the fact that if you look at customer expectations today, they're very different from how we were when we were, growing up. Three things. Number one, they want mobile and social engagement. They want to engage with you as a company on their mobile phone and social channels, and in return, they want the company to engage them on social and mobile channels, right? No more is your, I'll come on your website and then log in and then wait for you to come back to me. So that brings me to the second expectation, which is the real-time responsiveness that these guys demand from you. 24 hours SLA is dinosaur age, right? It's gone. Nobody's waiting for 24 hours, right? You're talking of real time.
On the fly.
Yeah, and then that's only possible when you look at the third aspect of what customer expectation is, which is, do you know them well enough? Can you use analytics, all the information that you can capture about the person, about the client, about the customer, to really personalize the experience. You don't talk to me as a segment. Segmentation is probably the most dirty word today in marketing. When we were growing up, segmentation was the starting point for marketing. But today, segmentation, don't talk to me. Don't put me in a segment. I'm not your category. I am an individual. Treat me as an individual, right? So when you think of all this, the need for personalization, the need for alternative modes of engagement and the personalization, that's when the task of a marketeer or as a business leader becomes even more challenging, because how are you going to do all this? It's nice to put all those things on a PowerPoint chart and talk about it, but how are you actually going to deliver that? So that's where if you think of, here are some statistics, right? If you think